Hey guys, welcome to my Lanayru Temple walkthrough guide. I'm going to take you through all the treasure locations as well as how to solve all the puzzles. Some of them might be tricky. I also do check all the ice cubes to see if there's any treasures behind. In this first room, there's nothing. We're going to go through the doorway to the left. You will have to defeat two enemies. Once you defeat these two enemies, the ice octos, you're going to defeat them and get a chest. This chest is going to have rock salt in it. That's all there is in this room. We can go to the right-hand side, and we're going to go to the door all the way on the right. Now, here is where a new mechanic of this temple basically takes place. What I'm going to do is place ice cubes, 5 in a row like this, or just place anything where you can make a nice pathway. You're going to grab this, jump across, and you're going to get it to this pedestal, which is going to activate heat fans, which will melt any ice walls in the temple, well, in the area that that fan is. So here it's going to reveal the ladder that we can take downwards. You'll defeat this enemy over here however you want, and you're just going to proceed past him. There is a treasure chest at the top here between those two little ice things. The way I got this is by placing 3 beds just after the beam of ice turns off, and I get a tarantula ready. So like this, I just place it in the middle. I did get frozen, but it's fine. I managed to place the spider. You can see its web is there, and I can go ahead and climb all the way up to the chest. That's how I got this. There might be easier ways. There might be different ways. There definitely is. Let me know in the comments down below if you had a different way and how you did it. Moving on, we're going down the ladder here into this next room. I just used the rock to block the ice, and I'm just going to place this ice cube and I'm just going to push it there to block that one, and you're going to leave this room. Now in this room, there's a bit of a puzzle. You have to go through the doorway to the left first, so just use this rock, block the ice beam, go across, go through the doorway here. You need to melt the ice floor, which is what you're going to do over here. In this room, you're going to immediately place a bed or something that you can get a little bit of height over that ice beam, and you're going to grab the red thing. Make sure you don't touch the ice thing, otherwise it turns into an ice ball and it makes it freeze instead of heat. We want the heat. The heat is going to melt those platforms, revealing access to the key in the water at the bottom left. So if we go here and just jump straight into the ice, it's fine. Pick up the key located right there, and then you're going to basically use something to get some height. In this case over here, I decided to use the plat boom, which raises all the way up. You can also use water blocks, 5 of them, and basically get the height and just jump over everything like this. However you want, just get over that and go down the ladder. This is probably the trickiest section of the dungeon, at least for me. It took a little bit of time, but watching it back, I realized that all you have to do is hold the summon key for something like, ice cubes or anything, and you can summon at a distance and pack them high enough until the spouts of ice are turned off by just blocking that area. And then you can just climb down and then desummon everything and crawl across. You'll see in the footage, I didn't do any of that. I just managed to spin across without getting frozen somehow, and then I made it through here. Once I was at this section, I used water blocks and I just placed them 5 in a row so I can go up here and then just continue along here. You'll see this. Notice that if you get frozen, you can't get frozen immediately after for 1 second. So I managed to avoid that second one. There's probably an easier way to get down that one that was a bit messy, but it's not as hard as that first one. From here, I just jumped across and I noticed that there was a room at the very top here. Very sneaky. You can go through this room, open up the chest, and you will get a golden egg. Very easy chest to miss. And then we're going to go back down here, and I'm just going to use these clouds. You can probably use other things. The clouds are nice because they, let you just jump and place them in the air like beds. Pretty cool. In this room, you're going to have to bring out a slug or something with fire and burn the ice cube at the back right. None of the other ice cubes are hiding anything. It's just the stairway below that ice cube over there. And you can proceed through here. This is a room where you need to bring a fire orb from the bottom to this platform over here to basically heat up and melt some ice. Right, so you're going to have to do a very specific strategy here. It's actually not so hard. I'll show you exactly what I did. I just used some slugs here to defeat these enemies. You can defeat these however you want. Just get rid of them so that they're not going to bother you. And you can go all the way to the bottom. You'll see that the orb is on the right-hand side at the bottom there. So we're going to grab the orb, and then you're going to wait for the ice beams to turn off, and you're going to push to the right, and you're going to make it so that you're as close to the orb as possible like this. Then we're going to go to the left here. We're going to place something to climb, like a plat boom like this. It goes up, and I can continue climbing like this and bring the orb to the altar over there, which will activate these heat fans and melt that wall in that room where we took the ladder. So we're going to go back up here, and now that wall's gone, we can take the doorway to the right to go into the next one. Push this ice cube. As soon as it touches the button, stand on the other button, because you have to press both buttons at the same exact time to activate them. It will reveal a chest that has the small key. If you do need to reset, just exit this room and come back in again. There's nothing else behind those ice cubes. Now we're going to go through this doorway to the left hand side, And in this room, you just have to kill everything. So I have the Linnel, so I just like, you know, Linneled it up. he just smacked everything. Man, this guy is overpoweredly strong, dude. Pretty cool Echo. Once you do that, once you defeat everything in the room, a chest will appear. You will get the dungeon map revealing, you know, pretty much the layout of the whole dungeon. Then you're going to proceed through the doorway to the left, grab this waypoint, and we're going to go ahead and proceed through the doorway to the north. This first iteration of the boss kind of teaches you how you're going to fight in this dungeon. It took me a few tries until I realized that it's actually weak to ice. Ironically, the one thing that is this entire dungeon is covered in is ice, and I didn't think to use it until after a little bit. But essentially, if you use like the ice octos, just place them around, they will actually freeze this boss, and then you can break the boss, and then it splits into two, almost like a Minecraft slime. It's going to do it multiple times into different iterations, like a big one, then two bigger ones, and then two smaller ones, and then the smallest and smallest one, like the smallest size, this one over here. And once you defeat all of them, the door will open up at the back here. I'm not going to show you the entire fight. It does take a little bit of time. Just let the ice octos do their work and you'll be fine. Now we're going to proceed down here. This one is a fire puzzle. You will have to light the different torches. So light this one over here. Then you're going to go down. You're going to place a torch or a fire echo, anything that can melt this. And we're going to go ahead and proceed this way over here in this area. You can see there's multiple ways to do this. I actually made it a little bit easier for myself. I just gave myself some height, climbed on this thing, and then I just placed two clouds. And then while jumping, I tried to do it as Link. I couldn't get high enough. So I just grabbed the fire, the torch slug, and I just placed it there, and I just let it move and, you know, burn that thing itself. You can always, you know, grab it as well with the X key to try and move it. Moving on to the next one, we're not going to go to the left first. We're going to go to the right. You will see here, this one's actually kind of easy. Just place like a fire thing like Ignizol or the slug and just lift it and throw it. And you can throw it straight into the pot there. That will ignite. And once you've done that, go down the ladders to the left. You're going to want to defeat this fire keys. And then we're going to play with the summon echo key where you hold the button, but you don't want to hold it too long. You want to hold it just a little bit because you can choose the distances. If you hold it for just a little bit, you can summon a torch slug, grab it with the X key, and then just move across to the left to light the torch like that. Very easy, very simple once you realize that you can only like half distance cast it across. Before you go down the ladder over here, we're actually going to go up. There is a treasure chest above us. You can reach this in multiple ways. You can use like the spider, place a water block to turn off this fire first, and then I'm just using the water block, you know, pillar to just get to the top here. I also learned something new here. Normally, I thought you had to cast sideways into a water block to make it go upwards, but you can actually aim directly upwards as well and cast a water block to, you know, make it go higher. I didn't know that until this point. This is how I figured it out. Crazy, dude. There's so many things in this game. They work in so many different ways. It's cool. Very cool game. Then we're going to go down that ladder to the bottom left. And in this room over here, we're going to go ahead and see that this button, there's water and there's spikes. We have to get rid of both. We have to turn the water into ice and we got to get rid of the spikes. So first here, the boss room is on this right-hand side. You can grab the waypoint for it because we'll be teleporting here later. So make sure you grab this waypoint first. And then we're going to go back here into this room. And then we're going to go through the doorway to the south like this. You can't do anything in this room just yet. So we're going to go ahead and proceed south. We'll come back for this later. This room over here, you will have to defeat all the enemies, so go ahead and get rid of them. You will see there is a chest at the southern side over here. Go ahead and open up the chest. You can also get rid of these spikes. Once you're done with that, you're going to go ahead and take the pathway to the south, so just keep continuing to the south here. And now we're going to go to the doorway to the right because that's the only way that you can take. We're basically going to try and melt this ice now. So what we're going to do is go here, follow a path here. I recommend killing all of the different things here and getting rid of the ice blocks as well. Like just push them out of the way so that they're not in your pathway because you will be running this pathway with the, you know, fire orb. So you don't want to get it like frozen and you don't want a mob to fight you while you're busy doing this. So quickly clear up the pathway up until the, you know, altar over here and then make your way all the way back. Grab the fire orb as close to you as possible and then just run across and place it on the altar. Very easy, very simple to do once you've cleared out the entire room. And then you're going to see that this is going to clear out the ice in this room over here, which has a chest on the right. And it's also going to clear out the one here, which has a button in the water that you need to press. Okay, so now just go all the way back to the entrance here, just like this. Very easy. Everything's dead still. Go through here. Now we're going to go to the right. We're going to swim in the water, and we're just going to swim across like this. There are 3 of these jumpy thingies. You can go ahead and defeat them. I went into link form and just attacked them. I also use link form here to jump, but you can use like a water block or something to just climb over it as well. Open up the chest over here as well as killing that enemy, and you can get yourself a monster stone. Cool. I mean, there's like 33 of them already. Then just jump across here and swim back to the doorway on the left-hand side. Very simple, very easy. We're going to go into this room. Now we have to press this button here. So get your boulder or summon a boulder of your own. I summoned one right on top of the button. It presses the button because it syncs, and then you're going to go ahead and go through the doorway that opened on the left-hand side here. So go through this doorway, and now you'll see there's two buttons we have to press simultaneously, but it's a little hard when the room is still covered in water. So we're going to go to the left doorway here, and you'll see what we have to do is place a rock. You can summon at a distance, hold Y, and block the fire vents. So block these ones over here like this. Cool. And then grab the orb, put it in the ice beam to turn it into an ice ball, and put the ice ball on the altar, which will now freeze the water in this room. That way we can use an ice cube or that armor thing that jumps from, you know, the other temples. In my case, I'm just going to use the ice cube, put it here, move it, and then go ahead and step on the button the same time the ice cube touches the button so that they activate at the same time, opening up the door to the north. There will be a white wolfos over here. Go ahead and defeat this one with however you want. It's up to you. It's just like a wolf, but stronger. Defeat that, go through the doorway over here. This is the next puzzle. You'll have to grab a fire orb, but first clear out all the enemies. Press the button at the far right here by this door, and then grab the ice cube, and you're going to basically build a bridge right over here, and then you're going to go across to the left, and you're also going to build a bridge right over here, and then you're going to grab the orb and just move across the pathway that you just made. You can see this makes it so simple that you just have to run across in a straight line and just drop the orb on the altar like that. That will then heat up the main room where that first ice orb that we couldn't work with, it's going to remove the wall essentially. And now we just have to go back to that room. Okay, so follow along with me. We're going to go through the door over here on the right hand side, and now we're going to be back over here in this room. You'll see that we have to go to the south. This is where the orb is located. We have to light a fire on this little torch, grab the orb from the side, and then heat it up to turn it into a fire orb. Put it here first. You have to do it in this order, so it's fire first so that it melts the ice and the spikes. Your main thing is to get rid of those spikes. Once those spikes are gone, you can see we can take the ice one, and then now we can freeze it so that the floor is frozen, so that when we throw that snowball down, the snowball can roll across and hit the button instead of breaking in the water. Now you just go north, press the button, the ball goes, hits the button, voila, it's all done. The gate comes down, and now you can open up the chest with the big key. This big key is going to let you do the boss room, which you should have the waypoint for to the south, the very southern end of the map, and you can go ahead and get ready for this boss. Now, this boss is a little bit confusing as well at first. Essentially, the boss is going to put on a helmet. First one is ice, which means you need to use fire attacks on its helmet like 3 times. So use like the fire whiz robe or something, anything that does fire. It just has to hit the helmet 3 times. You know, just like try position around and attack the helmet 3 times. Once 3 times has happened, you can immediately go ahead and start attacking it. Use your little, use anything for attacking. Just be careful of the spikes and its shock waves that it does while it's bouncing. After that, you can go ahead and get in there and just smack it around until it changes. Its next helmet is going to be fire, which means you have to use ice to beat this one. So I'm going to use the ice whiz robe, and we're going to basically try get some distance here because the whiz robe can't really shoot perfectly from such a close range. It's really easy to outpace or outdistance this one. Get some space here, and then just go into link form and do damage, or use the little anything you can. Just break it down there, and then it will now use another helmet. This one's going to be ice, but it's got like 2 eyes. It's going to use like some fire attacks at the same time, I think. It was pretty easy. I would say this is one of the easier fights. I don't know if it's just because I'm like got really good stuff now compared to the very first fight that I did in this game, which was a little bit difficult. The one in the Gerudo Desert was tough. That shit was hard. But this boss was kind of easy. I'm not gonna lie. This one was probably the easiest one of all the temples that I've done so far. And that is how you can solve the Lanayru Temple. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide, and thank you so much for watching.